everyone. Okay, tonight's our team call for June 27th, 2017. Tonight we're talking about how it all starts with how are you? So the reach out. Not being afraid of the reach out. That's been something that a lot of people have come to me in private messages or, even in the team page and said like they just don't know how to reach out to people. And I'm glad that people have said that because actually the reach out is not hard for me. And I'll talk about all the steps to inviting, but the reach out is not hard for me. And so I'm glad that someone said something so I can break it down. So reviewing really fast, the 4 vital behaviors. The 4 vital behaviors to become a successful Beachbody coach, no matter what your goals are, even if your goals are just to be working on yourself or if it's to grow your business, you should be proof the products work. So drinking your Shakeology and doing your workouts, and following a program from start to finish. So not just every once in a while doing a workout, which that is effective, and they're great workouts no matter what, but the best way is to really follow the plan. So if it's a 30-day program, do day 1, then day 2, then day 3, and try to do it the best you can. We're all human. I think I've finished a program start to finish perfectly like 3 times. So it is what it is, but you're going to connect with people who you're going to connect to. Like right now, I connect to people who are like crazy busy because they have, 2 children or whatever. And sometimes working out 6 days is just not possible, but working out 4 days, for that mom who's not working out at all is still super inspiring. So that's being proof the products work. Then personal development, which is you growing your mind as we grow our bodies. So whatever obstacles are coming up in your life that are more connected to mentally, work through that. So if confidence is a struggle for you, that's what you do your personal development on. If can't think of the word, what is it? Oh, like consistency. Then you want to do like the compound effect. You want to dive into that. It's whatever. Oh, Wes just signed off. Text her. If you want to, dive more into the health aspect of just knowledge so that you can, know what to eat and know what foods are doing what for your body, that's great personal development too, because that's going to help in your business. You're going to connect with people who also are interested in, food groups and all that kind of stuff. So it's whatever it is that you need to work on. So, we have all suggestions for each other, but really you have to like read the back of the book and figure out if that's speaking to you at this moment. And if it's not speaking to you, just stop the book and start another one. I have multiple books that I started and I just wasn't feeling it, and I don't have very much time, and so I didn't have time to waste. So that's that. So be proof product work, professional personal development, and invite, but we're going to come back to that one. And then recognition. So recognition is a really fun one, and it's the newest vital behavior. That's where you just get to love on people. So that could be loving on a challenger. That could be loving on a coach, upline or downline. It could be loving on a success partner. It could, if you're just barely starting, it could be just loving on potential customers. So, if I see a mom who's, I don't want to say struggling, but who's been in the mom grind, and sometimes I'll shoot her a message and just be like, hey, I see that you're working really hard and you're killing it. I don't know if you are, but I just know from the outside you're killing it. You just love on people. You just recognize them for the hard work that they're doing, for doing their first workout, anything like that. So recognition, and then going back to invite. So that's where we're going to talk about the reach out today. So, invite is, you'll see that everywhere. Like if you go in the back office or in any trainings that we've done, invite. That is the piece of your daily vital behaviors that is going to grow your business. The products give you a business The personal development fuels your business, and the invite grows your business. Because if you don't have challengers, you're not making, you're not helping spread the health and the fitness aspect, and that is what the products do. And you're putting a lot of time into this, and you need to be compensated with commission, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people shy away from the money part or talking about that, but you're doing this, you're giving. Trust me, you are giving so much more value to people than you're expecting in a $40 commission. So you're not being selfish in any way, shape, or form. You're being compensated for helping people. So the invite is ultimately you need to get them to invite them. But, we don't just go through our Facebook Messenger and, get to Sally and say, hey, you want to join my challenge group? Or, and then next, Samantha, you want to join my challenge group? You're going to get a lot more no's. And not that no is a bad thing, but you want to get the right kind of no. You want to get the not right now, not the stop spamming me, which I think we've all gotten from other MLMs. When you get added into the group, when LuLaRoe was doing that and I was in like 50 groups at like one time, or the lip Sensi thing or whatever that is, that's a big one right now that you just kind of get spammed with. And, I try to be forgiving to those people because we've all sent awkward messages, but, we want to rise above and build connections, because that's what we're doing here. We're building connections. So the first thing you have to do with people is reach out to them. Completely not about Beachbody. You just need to reach out to them and love on them and get to know them. And it's called forming. So it's, FORM, family, occupation, recreation. So what do they do? And then the last part is your message. So, it's not like a perfect system that you're like, hi, how are you? What is your family? What do you do for a job? What do you like to do for fun? And then, hi, would you like to join a challenge group? It's just a guideline of, if you're not really knowing what to talk to them about, those are things that people will talk about. They will, especially people who have kids, like ask them about their kids and they're like, okay, is this old and he does this, and then you're just building a connection. And then oh, my kid does that, or whatever. Or if you don't have kids and you see that they went hiking and like, oh, do you hike a lot? And I do too. You just find connections. We can find connections with anybody, even if they're not obvious or fitness related. It doesn't really matter, because our goal is to help people in their overall health, not just weight loss. And so I think when I got started, it was very easy for me to think, as I'm scrolling, looking at people who to talk to, who needs to lose weight, because that's how I started, is I lost a bunch of weight. But then the majority of my business has not been me working on a weight loss story. It's been me working on a fitness story or a health transformation or a mental health transformation. So after I kind of got over that and then connected with people who just wanted to lose weight, I was like, oh, I can just talk to anybody. Because people, let's say I wasn't a coach and I was on Facebook, somebody might not think I need help with health and fitness because I'm thinner. Naturally, just that's my metabolism. But really, 4 years ago or however long ago before I got pregnant, I was eating terrible. I was really, really sick. I had digestive issues. And if someone, or when I did actually buy my first challenge pack, which was before I had the baby and I never did anything with it, I was the perfect candidate for it. So you want to just talk to everybody and then just build connections about anything. So I'm going to tell you exactly what to do so you can take away from this some steps. First, if you are someone who struggles with reaching out, and again, that's the hi, how are you, completely not about Beachbody. I would do your workout or listen to personal development right before. Also, try to do it first thing in your day, whether that's a 5 a.m. wake up or a 10 a.m. I know we have like servers. We have lots of different people and lots of different walks of life. But get it out of the way, because it's an awkward, for us who are new to it, you feel awkward, and you're just going to avoid it. And I am like the queen of avoiding. Like, I'm like, I have to go do my power hour, and then I like do the laundry. Like, it's not all the time, but it's when I get out of the habit. So make it your habit to whatever your goal is. And, there are other calls about goals, and, we're going to do that big push group, and that is going to help you figure out how many people, you need to be talking to kind of get where you want to be. But ultimately, if you do some, it's better than none. So sit down, take a big deep breath, or do your workout, feel pumped up, like listen to some that like fighter song, girl power music, and then sit down at the computer. I have done lots of things to go through my list. I've gone into my Facebook, and you can go into your friends. Yes, I know my battery is dying. You can go into your friends and just hit A. And like whoever, then it kind of puts it in alphabetical order, not really, but it just gives you a starting point. And I would just go through in order, and I would just start. Obviously that gets a little messy, because, by your 5th day, you have to do a lot of scrolling, but it just gives you a starting point. Or you can, I don't recommend going through your news feed, because especially people who avoid like I do, all of a sudden you're watching a video about like a cat and a baby sleeping and snuggling, and then 45 minutes has gone by, and then you have to get ready for work. So however you need to make your list, just figure it out, or just start. Just go through your friends and just do it. I then have downloaded my Facebook friends list, and so it puts it right into a spreadsheet, and so now I just go right in order, and just go to those people, take literally no more than 2 minutes, scroll through their Facebook, and I mean, sometimes all you can get off their Facebook, because they're not a public poster, or they just do the people who like share a bunch of stuff. Just look at their profile picture. Are they married? Do they have a baby? Are they in a cool place? And just comment on it. All you have to do is just compliment them. So I'll say, I try not to say, hey girl. Well, sometimes I do. Well, because I want them to know it's personalized to them, because we're in a world now where MLMs just spam you. So I'll try to use their name. So I'll be like, hey Brenna, how are you? A lot of people, I went to high school with, my graduating class was like 900. And so there was like 4,500 in my high school at one time, never mind the years before, the years before and after and all that. So a lot of people on my friends list are from Pinkerton Academy. And so a lot of times I just say, did you go to Pinkerton Academy? You look super familiar. Your baby is so cute. How old is she? So you want to always end with a question. Again, it's completely not about Beachbody. Give them a compliment and just get to know them. Now, we are on Facebook all the time, because we're coaches, and that's how we're running our business, or however you're doing it, Instagram, whatever. Most people are not. And so if they don't answer you, please don't be offended. It is not about you. It is 100% about them and what you can do to help them. So as you're just reaching out, for us, I think it's also really hard for us to remember, before we had this community of people, that we are right now, even though it's totally virtually, we're surrounded by like-minded people who either want to get healthier or want to get, they have goals and ambitions that are just very different than the average bear. At my teaching job, we don't sit around and talk about like goals we have for our lives. We just are trying to survive the school year. And so, to feel the support that we have is not always something that people are used to. So when you reach out and you just ask them how they are, and you're just asking them about their lives, that means a lot to people. It's not about you and your goals to make Success Club. It's truly about helping people. That's why we reach out to this many people in hopes to we reach out to this many people, cut off the ends for the people who just don't answer because they're not on Facebook Messenger. No big deal, not personal to you. Then people you make a connection with and don't. And then the couple people that you're ready to send the invite to. It's this process. But if you never start with the reach out, you will never make Success Club and your business will never grow. So you have to look past the I'm uncomfortable with sending this message, and don't make it about you, make it about them. What can you do to help them in this life that sometimes is really shitty? And moms and women, and we feel alone. And so you ask them how they are and you build this connection. And at the end of the day, if all you're offering them is a friendship, that is still awesome. Who doesn't want more friends, more just genuine friends? Like, I have a lot of people who they've never joined a challenge group, but we still message back and forth. And, I still follow up with them and see if they want, but we still have genuine, fun conversations. And today they sent me like a happy birthday message. Like, that was very sweet of them. It's not, you're never going to feel crappy about having too many people who care about you. So if all at the end of the day, you get to just be a friend to them, that's enough. That's what this is about. So it all starts with, how are you? And if you're not doing that, like I said, your business is just not going to grow. So there's only a couple of us on, but if people have specific questions, I want them to ask. What I just said to you is exactly what I say. So I say, hey, Brenna, how are you? I will sometimes, if I don't know them, if they're not like a friend of a sister, if they're not, because I'm at the point where I'm building my network with, I'm like friend requesting people who I just have like 20-ish friends in common. So I have never met them before probably. And so I'll say, thanks for accepting my friend request. I saw that, and I'll put out the connection. So like, you and I are friends with Chelsea Rose Mullen, and she is so awesome. Did you go to school with her? Period, or question mark. And then I'll like compliment them on something and ask them about it. So I saw that I don't know, keep going using the hiking example. So like, I saw that you were like on a mountain somewhere. I'm obviously not a hiker. So I'm like, whatever. And like, how was that? I don't know, because I'm not a hiker. Bad example. Usually it's about kids. So I'll be like, oh my gosh, your baby is so damn cute. That's exactly what I say. And then I'll say, how old are they? Or are they teething? It's killing me right now. Like, I'm genuine. That is genuine. When people have, for me in my business, I connect with moms. People like me. And so I'm a mom, so I connect with other moms. It's not the only people I connect with, but that's kind of the most that I also can just ramble about. So that is exactly what I say. I could type it up too. I think I've sent it to a few people. A few people who've asked, I've screenshotted my reach outs for the day and I've sent them. But it really just goes back to just scrolling their Facebook really quickly and then commenting on it. And therefore, we reach out to all these people, because if, the minimum that people will say is like 2 a day. 2 to 5 a day is like, if you go on Pinterest and let's say you Pinterest Power Hour, people, like a bunch of teams will put theirs up there, and it's always 2 to 5. So it's 2 to 5 new reach outs, 2 to 5 ads, because you have to be adding people to your network to be able to talk to. Because if you're not friend requesting new people, eventually your well will dry up and you'll have no one else to talk to. So it's just this cycle. So you add new people to your network so that you can just reach out to them so that you can invite them. So it's always about 2 to 5 every day. 2 would be the minimum. So if I'm in a rush and I don't have very much time, 2 people is still way better than nothing. It's still keeping it going. Now, I hope that made a lot of sense. Now, here's the other important piece to messaging people. Besides the building connections, like, we're ending that part of the topic. Now, the social media aspect of this. You every day. It wasn't part of your 4 vital behaviors, but you're sharing your journey in some form of platform, whether it's Instagram story or Facebook or Snapchat or however you're doing that. You are sharing your journey. Now, if you are sharing your journey every day and you have no new messages going in your messenger, less people will see it, unless it's like a big deal, like you got married, then everybody sees that and everybody will like it. But how Facebook works is it's a business. Facebook is trying to please its viewers so that they don't go to Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. And so Facebook will, if it thinks, like if I have messages with like Sally, Jean, and Gina, it will show, so it will put my posts at the top of Sally, Jean, and Gina, whoever the people I just said. It will put my post to the top of their news feed because it's trying to make it happy. Just like, and then the more people who like, for instance, like my dad always likes my posts, so it will always show me my dad's post, and it always shows my dad my post. Does that make sense? So it's like this connection. And so if you are not messaging anybody in the back, like, don't get me wrong, one day goes by and you don't do a power hour and you're still posting, people are still going to see it. But to get the most maximum exposure to your little nuggets of your story that you're sharing every single day is to have those messages going, that revolving circular messages. Now, also with that was the third thing. Since you're not talking about Beachbody, right? You're just talking about life at first. In this reach out, you're just talking about life. They're going to see you consistently for a whole week, even though you're busy and also have children, do your workout. And people are like, wait a minute, how would you even have time to get that done? And you're like, this is literally what I say. I go, honestly, it is so instilled in me now because I joined a challenge group 2 years ago and I really wanted to check in with my workout, and now it's just habit. And so I'm totally not perfect and I don't get it in every day, but because I'm in these challenge groups, I'm kind of competitive and I want to, say that I did my workout. Or, let's say you're messaging with someone back and forth and you share a transformation. Whether they comment on it, whether they like it or not, they're seeing it, and they're seeing that you just committed to 21 days of something, and then you have a transformation. Now, I think that also people don't want to share their transformations because they're not at their ideal. Real life, people don't want to see the fitness model. Like, that is a whole sub part of people, and that's a very niche, like a little network, not a little network, but a specific network of people who want to take their fitness to the next level. And it's not that they're not there, and it's not that that's not important to strive, but the small May 1st to May 30th transformations, consistently sharing that, and then the 6-month transformation is way more appealing than all of a sudden you have crazy hard rock abs and you're just I just woke up this way and I just feel really great about myself. No, people want to see that it took work, because in reality it did take work, and that's what sets Beachbody apart from It Works and all the other things. It's not a wrap, it's not a pill, it's hard work over time, but our results will last, as opposed to the other ones that will not. And that's why I know I can stand behind these products and not feel bad about inviting someone to a challenge group, because what am I asking you to do? Eat super healthy, be active, and drink your vitamins. So that is all the important stuff about reach outs. I hope that made sense. So I'm going to unmute. And if anyone has any questions, go for it.
Sorry, Peyton's freaking out. So, I don't know. Wes, do you have any questions off the top of your head?
No. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry that I had to dip out really quick. My phone overheated. But Sam, my biggest question would be if and start having a conversation, you start with the form and you're asking people.
Sorry.
No, I'm just muting. You're fine.
You're having a conversation and then you invite them or start talking to them about their fitness, whether it looks like, you're killing it in this way, or are you interested in these kinds of things? And then they stop talking to you. Once they realize, people start questioning your motives,
Yep.
then how do you go about continuing the conversation at that point and moving forward?
So, right. So when you get through the reach out and you're forming them and you're doing everything, and then you send that invite, I train people, and I will train you the same, to make it very like breezy. And you don't say like, and it's not that you're avoiding price, but you're putting their needs first. And so you're asking them, hey, I literally say, hey girl, this is super random. But I wanted to invite you to my health and fitness group. I'm totally not even sure if it's your thing, but if it could be, I would really love to have you blank because, you're a mom like me, or because whatever. Let me know if it might be something you're into, period. And then a lot of times people will come back and say, like, yeah, tell me more about it. Now, this is, again, it's always funneling, less and less people are going to ghost you. And there's so many reasons for that. But you just remember that you're keeping your intentions and your everything pure, because if it gets down to it and they really do want help, you're going to help them. You're like, if they're like, I can't afford it, or like, let's say they come back and they're like, I'm really, really struggling. I feel disgusting. I've had women be like, I feel terrible about myself, and it breaks my heart. And then they're just still not ready to commit to a challenge group. Now, there's lots and lots of reasons why people won't commit, and there's lots of trainings about it. There's, price objections, but ultimately, a lot of it is because they're not ready to make the change. Like, right. So you just say, and here's the thing. When people aren't ready to make the change, you can try to help them all they want and they won't even take it. So right. I always am like, I try. Okay, and this is a good thing that someone said in the Team Forward Fitness group. Someone was like, Beachbody changes all the time. For a long time, it was like you run a free group and then you run a challenge group and you like funnel people that way. But then, so you had that free group to always be like, if you're not ready right now for a challenge group, like, why don't I pop you into my 7-day, clean eating free group, and I can help you that way, kind of a thing. Now, I don't always run a free group every month just because my life is kind of crazy. But if people are like, as the conversation is going, you just try, and you're never like, well, if you're not joining a challenge group, then like we're not talking anymore. Like, you're just continuing right. to talk to them. And so I've really never come across anybody who's gotten upset at me, kind of a thing. If, like, for example, I just did a follow-up and I was like, hey girl, I didn't know, like, I'm starting up another challenge group. If you'd like to join, let me know. I'd love to have you. And she was like, I'd really love to. I can't afford the challenge pack right now. And I was like, no big deal, girl. We're here when you're ready. How can I help you for right now? Like, I'm still saying I'm there, but I am holding value. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Okay. I'm holding value to the challenge, to what the challenge group is, because I have let people in on a 30-day trial now, which is just 14 days though, so it's a little trickier. I've done that. I've almost never had anybody who's done the trial and actually participated in the group or done the workouts. They'll sample a few and then they just fall off the face of the earth, because when you don't invest your own money, you often aren't into it. And so it's a tricky thing. So you just help them however they need to be helped. And remember that your challenge group is this thing that you've put time and effort into it. You tired? You're tired? That's fine. You can come in here. Sure. So we don't want to give it away for free. Does that make sense? It's not, we're just holding, yeah. So, I mean.
I'm just curious, like, when somebody does ghost, you know.
Okay. Sorry. I'm a rambler.
Well, and Wes, something to keep in mind. So I've actually had a lot of girls who even will go through having the conversation. Let's say you build, and then they talk to you about the whole program. Even they'll go through the whole process. You'll talk about the questions. They'll give you all the answers. They're like, yes, this program is right for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ghost. And you're like.
Right. So I'm just wondering, like, at that point, I'm not freaking out, but am I following up the next day and saying, like, you know, you seem so excited. Yep. So I just let you know still here, and if you have any more questions, what could I have explained better, like whatever.
Yes,
or
perfect.
do you give it like, what do you?
So if for me, I'll just say, if I go through and I just do the reach out and then I do the invite and they never respond, then I move them to a separate list of people who just aren't ready to have that conversation and follow up with them. Well, usually I'll do like an initial follow-up, like, hey, not sure if you got my message. I usually give it 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And then if they don't respond to that, then I move them to a list of like people who just aren't ready to have that conversation about a challenge group.
Back over.
Yeah.
So Brenna's actually doing our team call next week, and she's going to talk about the funnel, but that's exactly. I do the same thing. So people like just ghost out, like if you do, like you're forming and you're talking about babies, and then you're like, hey girl, like would you like blah blah blah, and then they just don't say anything. The exact same thing. I wait 2 to 3 days, and I just acknowledge the ghost. I just acknowledge the elephant in the room.
That's an objection. I can't afford it. You know. Then it's like, okay, starting point of what to talk about. Like, let's talk.
Yeah.
Like, happen, especially if you're trying to just make genuine conversation or genuine added you because you look like a cool person and somebody that's interested in this, then you're kind of left with like, you know, what happened and how do you approach that? Even if you're not taking it personally, it's a hard starting point. So I was just curious with that, with your inviting, and you have kind of your mentality and your approach just specifically with that kind of response. Inviting.
And I think that people, when you acknowledge the ghost, a lot of times they're like, oh, I read it. They either, whether it's true or not, they'll be like, oh, I read it and I forgot. It's just not my thing right now. And then you can just say, cool. Like, that's fine. Because then it ended on like you said, just a more positive note. And then your follow-up list just becomes way longer. And then when you put them back at the beginning, it doesn't take so much work to, like, you can just follow up about their life. So, and I will tell you that I have, like, 0% of the people say yes on the first time. So that's why you want to send all the invites is kind of when you start, like, as many as you can, because you're just setting yourself up for the following months to be way easier. But people just have to come around on their own time for exactly all the reasons you said, like price and confusion and everything. So, yeah.
And if they ghost after the conversation, like the big combo, and you go through all of that, usually I'll follow up with them once. Like one of the Bonnie's videos, she always says, so if you get to the third, I take that back. When you do the funnel, especially if you go through the full conversation, you usually do 2 follow-ups. Hey, not sure if you got my message, and hey, no big deal if you're not interested. I just, thought you'd be great, whatever. And Bonnie usually says, if she's invited people like numerous times, and then they end up ghosting every time, or they just end up being like, no, it's not really my thing. Or what I've done is with people who go through the whole process and they say like everything is so perfect for them.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason that that change doesn't happen, I've actually been really successful with having, sending them a message kind of saying, hey, you know, I know you were pretty interested, but you know, it never happened or whatever, something less intense like that. But just, you know, it didn't end up going through. No big deal. But this is a business. This is something that I'm really passionate about and I know it works for a lot of people. And so I am just trying to grow as a person. Is there something I could have explained better or done better that would have been answered your questions or, you know, would have made you more comfortable?
Off them, it's not you, it's me. What can I do better?
Yeah.
Explain?
And 90% of people have responded to me when I've sent that message, even though they've ghosted me 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Will respond to that message and say either what they think, or they'll say, no, you explained everything correctly. I totally, you know, love this.
And
I just don't think it's
then give their real thing.
reason.
So you address that.
Yeah.
Because that's an opportunity. When there's a reason, that's still an opportunity. When somebody ghosts, I find that would be the most difficult thing because now you feel that the opportunity is closed. So just getting to respond back opens that door back up. So I was just curious, you're both, your tech for doing, which is great. Good answers, girls.
And I think the other piece is that if somebody goes and they're just like not at that point, I found that then I'll also be wow, I'm sorry. If you're commenting on their page, you know, on the front of their page before you're sending those messages and stuff, if they're not responding there, that's also maybe a little, but you know, most of the time when you come around a second or a third time after you've been loving on them for a while, they're more open to responding to you. Or maybe the first time they're like, who is this person? Or I don't know them that well or whatever.
And I think that people are so sensitive in their health and fitness, like they've been burned before or they've failed before, and they kind of want you to prove that you're going to love them no matter what. And so when they ghost you and then you say, hey girl, it's no big deal, and then you continue to like love on their pictures, even if it's not like the next day, or if it's just in like a couple weeks or a month, and you're still like, girl, you're so beautiful, you know, you're still being that positive light. Or if they comment on your picture and then you positively comment back, like you're just continuously proving like, you know, it's not about that $40, like, you know,
Right.
and that's what in the beginning of your business, it's the well. When you pump a manual well that's like drilled all the way to the bottom and you have to bring that water up, you're pumping so damn hard and for so long, and you're pumping and you're pumping and you're pumping, and it's just squirting out a little bit. So you get $40 here and $40 there. But as you grow and you're continuously showing people that you love them, that you love them, that you love them, and then you train a team to love people and love people and love people, and then it just starts flooding up. So in the beginning, the pumping is a lot harder. Does that make sense? Like, I think you know that, but it's
But
just
unconditional. Like people are not a number
yes,
for you. Yeah.
Totally.
But like you're gonna make mistakes. Like not you specifically, just this recorded call. You're gonna make mistakes. Like I have sent the wrong name to the wrong girl in an invite before. Like you know, and then you just go back and you're just human. Like, sorry girl, I don't know where that name came from. Like, and I always blame it on the mom brain. And then I just know like, well, they're probably not going to say yes to that invite, but that doesn't mean that ship has sailed forever. Like I just keep loving on them so that they know that, you know, you're still there. So anyways, but I hope that was helpful.
Very helpful.
I did a pretty intense training last summer about invite, and that is in the team page if anybody wants to look at that. And that had like a slideshow and like everything. I do really love slideshows. I do.
It's very true.
I do love them very, very much. But that's what happens. I spend 20 hours and I just love it. So, and then in Team Forward Fitness, there are scripts. And, you know, when you're looking at a script on how to reach out to somebody or how to invite somebody, just use it as a guideline. You know, you don't want to copy and paste it completely because you want it to sound like you. So you always want your voice to sound the same. So the voice in your post should sound like the voice in your invite, and that should sound like your voice in real life. So I love to look at other people's scripts though, because I just like ideas, not because I take it, even though I did take actually I did take what I said from someone else, but I would say all of that. So I'm okay with it. Super. It's super great.
Super.
Super. Okay. I'm stopping recording.